This is it, everybody. My last chance to fix these Miami Dolphins here in the Renovation Rebuild franchise. I have been on a 5-year quest to turn the Dolphins from the worst team in the NFL to hopefully a playoff contender, hopefully a team that's been rebuilt in some capacity. But 4 years in, we've only had moderate success. We're no longer the worst team, but we're one of the most mediocre teams now in the league, which is still progress. As you can tell, we've added so much star dev, superstar, X-Factor talent to this team. But the wins, it's all about the wins. And I only get one more year to fix up this team before we're done in this chapter. I might stay in this franchise and take on the next worst team, which it would be really awkward if it was also the Dolphins. Like, that to me has to be a game over. How do I, 5 years to fix a team and then just like, oh, I'm gonna need 5 more? No. At the very least, I don't think it's likely that we are the worst team next year, but I suppose it's possible. Unless Sean Day can help us finally get to the playoffs in this series. He has put up really good numbers now. 2 years as our starting quarterback, actually a year and a half. And we kind of got a late start here in this rebuild because he was not the first quarterback we began with. So in this series, we took over the worst team, and in year 1, we went 6-9-1, followed by regressing to 4-11-1, rebounding to 6-10 while making the quarterback change, and then going 7-9. So this was the best season of this rebuild, and the second half was really good. We went 6-2 in the second half, but we only went 1-7 in the first half. So how do we put together just a good 10-win team next year for us to get over this hill? Now, in my notes, I do have it here that I was supposed to change the scheme to Kyle Shanahan's playbook. So we are going to do that. Go to San Francisco, and we'll have a scheme that probably is still going to be a power run scheme, although zone run would make a little more sense here in this offense, but we just got to play to the numbers. So as we wrap up this most recent season, the Seattle Seahawks beat the Raiders in a thrilling Super Bowl, 38-35, with 35 points scored in the fourth quarter combined. So Russell Wilson gets a Super Bowl title today, and they are the new team to beat in this franchise. So looking at our team here, we managed to go and bring in Davante Adams while we develop our younger receivers, and we've had Javonte Atkinson do really well, and then we draft Kevon Steele. And Steele in his 2 years has been a little slow to start. I mean, the production's all right. We have Sean McMillan in the backfield, and while he's an 85 overall, we just haven't had much success with him. So I'm considering changes at running back. But can I really go and get a rookie? Because this is the final year. A rookie running back does not fix things here in Madden. We're not going to simulate anything nice with a rookie running back. We should try to see if, there's a chance to upgrade this line, but it's not bad. I mean, you could do a whole lot worse than this. We have solid players. And then defensively, we're looking at a defense that I've invested a lot at edge rusher, and we've had some really inconsistent success there. If there's a chance in free agency to make something happen, you probably should take it. And I think here in this last season, I probably have to be a little more open to potential trades. And maybe, do I trade those future picks I don't plan on spending with this team, because this will be the final year. If there's an opportunity, I probably will take it in a series like this. But for sure, I'm looking at this running game. Maybe the scheme change helps. Maybe a second running back helps. I like our receivers, but I don't know if Davante is going to be back next year, and there's a chance he could go somewhere else in free agency. And if we go back to the defense here, Raekwon McMillan's been productive, but outside of Andrew Hairston, we've just not gotten a lot from our pass rush lately. Offensively, we haven't really had a high-scoring offense, but we've gotten this team a lot more average with a running game that I still think can get a whole lot better than this. And actually, we finished middle of the pack there, but I still think it has to be more. We have a lower-rated quarterback, and while he does good, like touchdown to interception, I think you need that better running game. And then defensively, a lot of talent there, but scoring defense, wasn't anything special this season. Pass rush, 37 sacks. That's going to rate okay. But there's nothing about this team that's really like taking us over the top. Like being slightly above average at a few things doesn't make a great team. We've got to find a true strength, and hopefully we can do that in this final year. So Raekwon McMillan is, of course, regressing. Darren Glover, Zach Bennett is down 13 points. Blake Cashman, Kenyon Price. Davante Adams does lose 33, but he's such a high-rated player. You think he'd still have a chance to be pretty good this coming season. But that's why I don't re-sign older players in season. Trent Brown is down 20. Eric McCoy is down 8. So there isn't much need to re-sign a lot of these players, but what do you do with a guy like Trent Brown, who is, at 80 overall and that's starting caliber? Do you try to do better, or do you offer him like $6.5 million and hopefully get that deal done? Well, let's try to get Manny Sanders back. At the very least, he's good depth here at linebacker. Don't want to spend too much of our around $50 million in cap space. Zach Bennett will let test. Artie Robbins, I think we let him test at $7 million a year as his expectation. Giovanni Terrell, 2 years, 8.6. Maybe he tests as well. Michael Pierce. There just isn't a lot to do in this stage. Ultimately, though, I think if we're already set to let a couple players test, then maybe Trent Brown is the one we do offer a contract to. And it'll be 6.3, and he doesn't take it. Obviously, a tag is not going to happen there. All right, I forgot I signed Davante Adams to a 3-year contract then, so he is still under contract. I think as far as playmakers go, it's just, can we do something interesting at running back? And then this offensive line, we have to figure something out. We got Tremont Spence, though, at left tackle. He's young. He's 79 overall. He's going to play. It's left guard, it's right tackle. Who plugs those gaps, and is it enough? And then defensively, I think like an interior pass rusher, maybe even through a trade, has to be something on our radar. And then a linebacker starter. Secondary, though, I don't think you have to do anything. We have Glover, Charleston, Godfrey. Nobody is elite, but it should be good. So it's not a long list of needs going into free agency, so I feel like that's a pretty good start. And right off the bat, I mean, DeForest Buckner, David Bakhtiari, and then Gilbert Christie. These are our top needs right here. We need to find a way to get maybe all three. And then at running back, Sean Samuel's the right archetype. So a power back, maybe. Free agency's kind of giving us an interesting start, but we have to beat 17 teams here if we want to get to DeForest Buckner. So I think we offer a 2-year contract to try and beat him, and then increase the signing bonus a little bit. This gets us to 96, which is still 5th place. This is going to be tough, but not too tough. 103 right there, and then we have to top Minnesota. Signing a former Packer is a Minnesota tradition for the longest time. And we can top Minnesota with that offer. And then Gilbert Christie, as long as he's not a bad run blocker, he is. He is a bad run blocker, but he's a really good pass blocker. All right, let's check out all the guards here. Dalton Reisner, Michael Dieter. Gilbert Christie is going to be far better than any other interior lineman, even if he's not the best fit for the running game. But, I mean, Artie Robbins has his weaknesses too. 5 years, $55 million. You know what? It ain't my money. So for all three of these players, we do have a fairly sizable lead. Now, I only have 13 million right now in cap space if they all sign, so I'm already being aggressive, and there are other spots we have to worry about, at least for depth, and it limits our options going forward if I try to go up too much on these deals. But I mean, I'm 7 points above Minnesota, not even going a million above the fair offer. With Buckner, yeah, this one's really aggressive, but I just think it can make a really big difference. If we missed on Christie, because he's not the best fit, we could handle that, and I'm okay with only a 3-point lead there. So let's see how this all starts then. Free agency stage 1, really quick today. And we're going to come out of it with 2 new players, and it played out okay for us. We get Buckner, we get Bakhtiari, Christie declines. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad there. So we have a couple options then. Do we go for like an Artie Robbins caliber signing, or do we like a potential rookie in this case? We did get Bakhtiari. We do have like 4 out of 5 spots looking pretty nice right now. So could a rookie fill that last spot? I think so. Now we got a few options here with first round talent. Jabari Felder is a mid 1, and we pick at 11, so you'd think he'd be there. And then Brendan Boone with late 1 talent. You can probably get him on day 2. That might be the way to go. If we just take a look here at the top of the class, we do have quarterbacks, some run-stopping linebackers, and linebacker is a need, but like taking a run-stopping linebacker at 11 or potentially higher is like not at all what I do. So what is the best use of with our first round pick? Is it maybe trading for a veteran player? I think it could be. As much as I like some of these running back prospects, even with early first round talent, I know this game. I know how it works. I need to win immediately. So we go back to free agency, and Trent Brown is still available. That's right, I never ended up re-signing him, but he is the best available player. And obviously we need that tackle spot filled. Actually, no, that's wrong. We needed to get 1 tackle because we already had the young guy at left tackle, and Spence and Bakhtiari can be the 2. So from there, it just becomes who starts at left guard. And right now it's Lindsey Jackson, and he is just not the run blocker that we need there. There is one nice thing here about Madden that's going to benefit us, and it's something that's annoyed me for a long time. But they always have these running backs in at good overall, good development, and they're young. And so you sim a few years into the future, and what do you always get? A lot of high-rated running backs. You know who's been having an outstanding year in real life, who could also fill our needs in this series? Josh Jacobs. 95 overall right now. He has the power that would fit this scheme, and he's a 95. So is there a chance we could bring in Josh Jacobs? They need a defensive tackle, and after getting one here in DeForest Buckner, we could part ways with Roland or Royal. Not that we would necessarily want to, but it's an option. They like Roland a lot, and this would get us a little start here, but a lot more needed. Unfortunately, though, I don't know if I can offer a whole lot more than this. Can I throw a future pick in? Yes, but it will have not the best value in the trade. So I'd have to give up a better player, I think, to get Jacobs. So we're kind of getting in the neighborhood here. This would be with Sean McMillan and a future first round pick. A ton to give up here for a running back, but the Raiders are asking for even more. I just don't think we can make a deal like that work. I'd have to give up so much. It might have to be like 3 starting players or something for a running back that may or may not fix the problems with this team. Am I better off going to find a different power back then? It's tough, because this is the last year, so I kind of want to go all in. It would be a lot easier for us to go and trade for Derrick Henry instead, and he's an 85 overall, so A significant drop off now from Josh Jacobs, but that would give us 2 running backs. But is it worth it to give up potential contributors? Roland, he might not play as much now with us getting Buckner, but we have to give up Roland plus what? And at the same time, have we seen Henry do well in recent years? He has really done well. And there it is. We have made the trade. It is Roland and a 2nd round pick from the future for Derrick Henry. That was a lot easier than trying to get Josh Jacobs on this team. So we now have a 1-2 punch. I think Henry becomes the lead back and McMillan the 3rd down back. And can Derrick Henry be the player that makes a difference for us on the offensive side? So defensive tackle could still be on our radar then for a replacement, but we do have some depth there, so it's not a necessity. Linebacker is starting to look pretty thin though. Oh, I thought I had traded our future 2nd round pick. I guess I traded our this year's 2nd round pick. So that makes it tougher to get a guard past the 1st round. But I can still trade up if I need to. I don't see this being a team that needs like more than 4 or 5 rookies. Like maybe even 2 or 3. We do need a kicker, and Jimmy Hochstein was all right last year. He missed like 3 field goals and 4 extra points, but he is still the best available, 89 accuracy and star dev, so might still be the best choice. I do like Shaq Mason as a scheme fit if we aren't able to do a good job in the draft and don't want to force it. So I want to see if I can get him on a smaller contract though, because we're running out of cap space. We finish off stage 2 of free agency, and we get Jake Bailey, Shaq Mason, Jimmy Hochstein back. So we are putting things together here, I think, pretty well. Mason can be depth or start. I know we're running out of cap space, so like trading for another veteran now gets a lot more difficult. But could this be a good enough line for our team going forward? I think it's pretty solid. We bring in Derrick Henry, who's played well in this franchise. We still have our playmakers around Sean Day. Why can't this work? And we got a fullback in Tyrone Burns who has superstar development, man. And in the Kyle Shanahan offense, shouldn't that fullback actually make somewhat of a difference too? So we're still looking at linebacker as being a potential liability. Let me see the coverage ratings here too. Only 71 zone and 66 man for Manny Sanders, while Raekwon McMillan has 71 and 64. Coverage linebacker could really be helpful. Oh man, he's got X Factor now. I'm not sure how tradable he is in this case, but Kazir White would be a really good fit with us. All right, so we're giving up a lot of our draft capital for this year. 4, 5, 6 gone. Maybe I should have offered like a future 2 or 3 or something, but we do get Kazir White. So now we have that 3rd linebacker starter. I think an upgrade over Quan Alexander. 5th year options. It doesn't really matter for us. Walter Bartell. You know what? I'm not going to pick it up. So the draft is not going to be a long one for us. We have 4 picks right now, and that 7, like, what is that going to do for us here in year 5 of this rebuild? The question now becomes, what do you do with the 11th overall pick? Because nothing here stands out as a move we need to really go make. If we can't get an early 1st round lineman, there isn't much of a point there. There is J.D. Glover, though, who is an early 1st round tackle. Could he just be a plug-and-play guard? We have our running backs. We have our receivers. We have a tight end in David Njoku. So do you just go BPA for like a defender or an offensive lineman in that case? We have these run-stopping linebackers who might be off the board by the time we select. And they're both mid-1st round talents. 11, I'm still kind of holding out to see if I can get an early, but that might be tough. Wow. I am running out of points right now, and we just scouted Victor Middlebrooks, right tackle prospect who has early first round talent. He's a power archetype with A- run block. He could ultimately be the best player for us to take early. And we just found another tackle at early first round talent. Are you kidding me? Mark Wall, early first, but more of a pass blocker. So we did not do a lot in free agency. We played it very simple. Go for the players who can make the biggest difference for us. Shaq Mason's here, but maybe we don't need him to start. But you know there's going to be an O-line injury at some point, most likely. And Mason can fill in as that 6th offensive lineman. And now I think we're in a spot where we can go and maybe get one of those early first round linemen that could be a day 1 starter at guard. And then I wonder if you try to trade up with our future picks to make something else happen, but I just don't know what that something else is. Like, who comes in to make a big difference? Is it one of those linebackers that starts over Manny Sanders? That way, like, overall wise, we don't have anybody under like a 79 starting. One of those linebackers will probably be like a 75, 76, I'd have to say, if they're mid 1, potentially lower. But let's get this draft underway. We're going to pick at 11. We are open to moving up, but not to 1 or 2 or 3 probably. So Braylon Dixon off the board. We go edge rusher, cornerback Ari Sapp, who had early first round talent. And then a 70 overall receiver, Patrick Dodson. The first linebacker is taken, Jimmy Fitzsimmons. So are we interested in trying to get the next early first round talent there? Maybe. What else are we going to do is my question. If not, what are we doing? And I just think we have other avenues to go and try to get that early first round tackle. Now, I'm not going to trade with Atlanta because they have their top need as a quarterback, and the number 1 player in the class is a quarterback. So they go Rashawn Gaffney. Now, you might wonder, why didn't we just go try to get the best quarterback? And I don't want to introduce a level of variance like that into year 5 with a brand new quarterback. It could go really well, it could go really poorly, but I like our core around Sean Day, who has played well, so I never considered replacing him. So we moved up to 6. We give up the future 2 and 3 here, really gutting the future draft capital here of the Dolphins as we go all in. But if I didn't go all in and we go like 7 and 9, that would seem like a massive waste of time. At least here, I'm going for it. Cam Lacey, I'm trading up for an off-ball run stopper. Oh, he only has mid-first round talent. That's right. Man, that's a lot to give up for an off-ball linebacker. Jimmy Hall's there as a deep threat receiver, but it's just not going to make a huge difference. Let's get Cam Lacey. Hidden development at 74. I mean, it's an upgrade over Manny Sanders by 1, and he's a rookie. So quicker development there at least, but he's certainly not going to help us at all in coverage. But Sanders now becomes depth. Linebacker does get stronger. It's not obviously worth trading up with a first round pick, and the only reason I would do that is because of the type of series that we're doing here. Jimmy Hall, 78, ends up going a few picks later. So now what my plan is to move up into probably the 2nd round so that we can go and get Victor Middlebrooks. Mark Wall would be easier to get, but they have equal talent, and Middlebrooks is projected higher, which usually means he has a better chance at having hidden dev, and he is better as a fit in the running game. So I think if I were doing a traditional, series, Middlebrooks in the 2nd versus Wall in the 3rd or 4th, obviously there, I'd probably go Mark Wall. But here, we're going to go Middlebrooks. I think you have to trade in, though, at the top of the 2nd round. And of course, if he ends up going, at least we can go with the other option and be mostly fine, just not as good of a fit scheme-wise. So a very weird offseason for me. This feels so weird to build like this. But part of this was a challenge making me do things I don't typically do. And we've moved up. We gave up our future first-round pick. I wonder if I should have asked for more in return from Chicago. But we are going to move up so we can go and complete this offensive line. I think make it as good as we've had at any point in this series. Victor Middlebrooks, come on down. He does have normal dev, but he's the 4th best player in the whole class. He's a great run blocker, no holes in his game, and he's going to start at left guard. That's it. 2-player class. I didn't think we needed anything else. So that's going to do it. What I do with the picks, I decided, for the future, when we come back to this and do like a chapter 2 in the renovation rebuild, I just traded down to help rebuild some of their 2028 draft capital. They don't pick until the 4th round, but once they do, day 3 of the draft, that's theirs. Have fun. How about like a day 3 only drafting rebuild? That would be interesting. How much can you get trading down with your picks? And then you can't pick until the 4th round? There's a whole rebuild idea right there. So yeah, 2-player class. We filled out our team. We probably could have drafted for some depth here, but I felt like our depth was in a good spot. We have a 54-man roster right here, and we can sign UDFAs to give us preseason depth, but I like it. We had to go all in this year, so Derrick Henry, DeForest Buckner, David Bakhtiari, Cam Lacey, Victor Middlebrooks. Maybe there are different ways he could have done it. Oh, and Kazir White was a nice move for us as well. We do have to bring in a backup quarterback, and we have just enough cap space to make that work. So welcome Derek Mullins, QB2. So we just had an outstanding preseason going 3-1, and I didn't notice any injuries pop up. We have no injuries. So we won 3 games, didn't have injuries, and didn't throw a single preseason interception. Maybe this Kyle Shanahan offense is going to work for us this year, as Sean Day gets ready for a big season coming up. Let's see. Let's go scrambler here, 74. And that gets up awareness. That's nice. Throw on the run, break sack. But yeah, he and Mullins both played extremely well here in the preseason. Very similar stats overall. And then running, Derrick Henry outperformed Sean McMillan. Henry's going to be the lead back, and then McMillan the 3rd down back. So they should both play quite a bit. Hopefully advantage goes to Derrick Henry, though, in terms of overall touches. And then David Njoku was productive along with Devontae Adams. Tight end maybe catches the ball a lot in this offense, and that's fine. But we're probably not going to have a lot of receivers produce. And then Byron Brooks, our number 4 receiver, had 4 touchdowns as a deep threat. I doubt he caught a lot of deep passes, though. 13 for 84. Doesn't sound like it. 4 sacks allowed. Tremont Spence struggled a little bit, but overall we can handle that. And defensively, Khalil Wakefield leads us in tackles. Manny Sanders had 17. Walter Bartell, 3 tackles for loss. Andrew Hairston and Delvin Royal, over 3 sacks each. And then for interceptions, just a couple here. Jimmy Hochstein, perfect in the preseason. And there aren't a lot of cuts to make here before week 1. Don't need 2 fullbacks. Jameel Donaldson to the practice squad. And we're also going to probably move one of these receivers. And we're going to put Adric Lambert here on the practice squad. So that is all the building we are going to do here in the renovation rebuild. I think that we've done an awful lot here, going through 5 off seasons. It's been fun to have a series like this with a sense of urgency that allows us to also move pretty quickly. If only I posted the episodes a little bit faster, that would have been better. obviously. But looking at this team, I think this could be the one. Now, if we make a playoff run, I have a plan, I think, for how I want to do it. And I think, like, sitting here and watching full games play out doesn't make a lot of sense. So what I would want to do is probably, like, super sim and then watch, like, the critical moments and then, like, a lot of the fourth quarter. And the only game I'd want to give its own video would probably be the Super Bowl. But I guess we can cross that bridge if we make the playoffs, and hopefully we do. Defensively, Lacey with hidden dev. Hopefully he can make an impact for us. I mean, we gave up so much to get him. We only have one normal development contributor on this defense. Why can't this team be great? My goal is quite simple. It's the last year of this rebuild, and we take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 1. And hopefully we can get off to a good start this year. We did not a year ago, and this is it. I'm kind of nervous to start simulating, but it's time. What do you mean? 41-10? Under 200 yards of offense? What are we doing here? Gardner Minshew, 4 touchdowns. Why doesn't this equal a perfect passer rating? Like, what are you expecting him to do more? 85 yards, though, for Sean Day. McMillan had 70 yards and a touchdown because he broke off a 63-yarder. What just happened? They had 4 receivers catch touchdowns, including a player I passed on. How do we look so good in the preseason, and then we drop that on week 1? Maybe it was like the Packers in week 1 against the Saints last year, because we bounced back the next week, 28-10. Different game, but again, like, where's the yardage on offense? We had Sean Day outplay Dak Prescott. We had Derrick Henry do a good job on the ground. 5.1 a carry, 2 scores. We gave up a ton of yardage here to Nick Taylor, a tight end. And Sean McMillan was our leading receiver, who now has 2 touchdowns. Wow. So, an ugly loss, a solid win, and then we beat the Broncos. So, we are above 500, and that hasn't happened at many points in this series. Sean Day, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns against Denver. So, he's done a good job here in the last 2 games. And then we have Henry and McMillan, you know, as a 2-headed monster here in the backfield. You know, it's decent production, no touchdowns, but it's good enough, I think. Especially when we play good defense. We do pick up some sacks in this game. We moved to 2-1. But despite the winning, we have a frustrated receiver, and every receiver has become frustrated in this series. I already traded one away to Detroit because I was tired of him complaining. Do you want to go to the Lions, Devontae Adams? A new injury. Rashad Penny. He's our 3rd running back. So he is going to miss the next 5 weeks with a knee injury. And we'll take on the 2-1 Jets now. All right, week 1 is looking more and more like a fake result there. Like, we're 3-0 after that, 21-10. It doesn't appear we're going to be this high-scoring offense, though. But I think we're playing good enough defense, and we're running the football well enough to play this style. Even McMillan's getting pretty good averages, and he seems to be getting some longer plays as well. So that is really nice to see. Devontae scores. We'll see if that was enough for him to be happy. McMillan just keeps scoring touchdowns as well. Incredible touchdown efficiency on his part. Keeping teams under like 20 points too. So that is a good step for us. Man, did you see me racking up points out there? I sure did. Like an 11-point fantasy outing. That was pretty good. All right, the winning streak ends at 3. Buffalo has a pretty good game against us. They do win it in overtime. And Josh Allen goes for 308. So I'm pretty sure Allen develops well in this game. It was before his breakout, though, in real life. So I'm not quite sure. But, you know, it's not a bad game for us to lose. It was close. We went to OT. We do get 4 sacks. We just didn't get it done in this game. And we come back the next week and beat the Jets. So now we've swept New York. We had a fourth quarter comeback. And this is a game where we actually put up a lot more, not a lot more, but a bit more offense. 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions for Sean Day. He continues to put up pretty steady numbers. I'm never worried about him being the reason we lose a game. I think it's more so, can he help us in these tougher games? And hey, we put up a lot of points in this game. And McMillan, the touchdowns continue to roll in. He's not even the power running back. It just somehow ends up going to him. Devontae, that's more what he's looking for, I'd like to think. Atkinson scores as well. And then on the defensive side, we have Raekwon McMillan with a busy day. 10 tackles, sack and a half. And Cam Lacey gets to the quarterback as well. Interception here for Tyson Charleston. So we're 6 games in. We're 4-2 right now, tied with Buffalo. So far, so good. We're about to hit the trade deadline, and there really isn't much for us to do. We don't have picks to trade for a player. We kind of already went all in ahead of the trade deadline. So what you see is what you get here. The team is staying the same. And we're developing the offensive linemen here slowly but surely. We have Spence now as an 80 overall. And defensively, Cam Lacey still hidden. We don't have his revealed yet. That'll be in a few more games. I'd say probably 4 more. 5-2 into the deadline is certainly a result you would have taken at the very start of the season. Sean Day protects the football, gets his 3 scores, and gets out of Houston with a win. I like Sean Day a lot for this series. Derrick Henry, 86 yards. McMillan, though, he gets the touchdown. This is starting to become one of my favorite parts of this season. How many can he get? He caught one as well. This touchdown efficiency cannot possibly continue. We had 2 interceptions, by the way. Charleston gets 1. Bowen. I'm liking the sack production, too. I feel like we got to be in the top 5 this year in sacks. We've been actually consistent in that department. If we go to the defense, 27 there for the Bills. That's number 1. We have 16, so we're not Buffalo. And at this point, Sean McMillan has 6 rushing touchdowns to Derrick Henry's 2. It also has 3 receiving touchdowns. That's 9 touchdowns on 66 touches. A new injury, so I guess the bye week comes at a good time, as we are going to lose Glenn Samuel. So losing a little bit of depth here along the defensive line, and we're about to get Rashad Penny back, so thankfully injuries have not really played a huge factor yet this season. Bye week, though, definitely rest and relaxation. We have done a really good job to this point. I just hope that we can put together a complete season finally. Our best record in this series is 7-9. We are 2 wins away from at least matching that. And a perfect time now to be upgrading Sean Day. Scrambler archetype makes him a 75 overall, and we get throw power going up with accuracy, throw on the run, throw under pressure. Sean Day has been steady. He doesn't turn the football over much, and his completion percentage continues to rise. We are seeing the yards per attempt drop this year, and that could be a result of the scheme change, but the wins are going up. Right tackle, playing guard actually, Victor Middlebrooks. Upgrading him for the first time now. And there are his stats, or his ratings. And we have a breakout player chance here. And this is going to be for Gervonta Atkinson. Now, that kind of stat line, 3 touchdowns and or 150 yards, not likely in this offense. I'm starting to really believe now because we're actually winning high-scoring games as well as low-scoring games. 5 touchdowns for Sean Day. We had to get a big day out of him, and he goes and drops 5 scores here on the Giants, out-dueling Daniel Jones in a really good game, it looks like. 9 combined passing touchdowns. Henry does score, and Sean Day runs for 44 yards. I am not seeing anything here out of Sean McMillan. Henry handled every running back carry, it looks like. That's odd. But Devontae had a massive day. And then Atkinson's score didn't quite get to 150. McMillan had 2 receiving touchdowns. This guy's going to go to the Pro Bowl. This is unbelievable. That has to be a sign of a good team, right? Like, if you have a backup who has 11 touchdowns by your 8th or 9th game, like, you're probably winning a lot of games. And you're probably leading your division like we are at 6-2. That rematch against Buffalo hopefully goes our way. But this is going great right now. And we have now tied the most wins we have ever had in this franchise. We held the Patriots to 216 yards. 2 scores for Sean Day, 320, no big deal. Derrick Henry has a big game. McMillan finds the end zone again. Rashad Penny even got one. Atkinson over 100 with a score. McMillan did not catch a touchdown in this game, but Clayton Boyd did. Wow, Cam Lacey gets a sack. This seems to be, finally, a true complete team for us. But now a real test. Could it be a Super Bowl preview against the Dallas Cowboys? 7-2 Miami, 6-3 Dallas. And the Cowboys get the best of us. What happened? They had like half our yards. But we turned the ball over 3 times. They did get 2 interceptions off of Sean Day. And then we had Rashad Penny lose a fumble. We gave up a big day to Ezekiel Elliott. It's Madden. He was destined to be the greatest Madden running back of all time. It's been that way for like 5-6 years. Kevon Steele scored twice. But no McMillan score, no victory for us this week. It's kind of that simple. But now we don't want to let anything get away from us. We play a good Colts team at 6-4, and we're back tied atop this division now in what is only a 2-team race. And it's officially the best season of this renovation rebuild, 41-10. Absolute domination. 194 on the ground, by the way. We protect the football better. And we played well against Jacoby Brissett, who has been incredible on my channel in every series that I've done. Derrick Henry. Oh my God, he just got 4 scores. Sean McMillan. How many touchdowns is he going to get? This is one of the funniest things I think I've seen here. BC Johnson had a pretty good game for a team that lost by 31. 4 touchdowns? He might have a 20 touchdown season. Charleston's racking up the INTs as well. Breakout player opportunity now for Walter Bartell. After declining his 5th-year option, Bartell has a chance to take that next step. And we win again. 195 on the ground. How many times do you think he scored in this game? Patrick Fisher, 4 interceptions. It was a down day for Sean Day, but the running game picked him up and McMillan didn't score. Day ran one in. Henry did not score, but they're still receiving. Atkinson found the end zone. Kevon Steele found the end zone. And Sean McMillan, is he in a slump all of a sudden? He hasn't scored. And Bartell got his 2 sacks in this game and a TFL. Godfrey 2 interceptions. Charleston gets 1. And McMillan. So Walter Bartell, you have earned yourself an upgrade. I feel like I have such a low hit rate on breakout chances lately. So for that to actually hit is massive. Bartell is having a really nice season overall, with plenty of time to go. And although I'm not going to be here past this season, one of my final acts as GM will be to extend him with a 5-year contract. There you go. This is the game of the year right here. We won again in week 14. But now, 10-3 Miami, 10-3 Buffalo. Essentially, the winner of this game is going to win the division. It's not a guarantee, but it's likely, especially in their case. And we may have to get this done as a wild card team. We've lost to the Bills twice. Both have been one-possession games. But they've topped us now in both meetings. They are the better team. We still have 10 victories. We've probably clinched a playoff spot at this point. But it's not likely now we win the division unless Buffalo loses out. And we just lost Davante Adams in that game. Uh-oh. 7-week injury, dislocated hip. What happens to us now? I mean, Adams has definitely been an important player for us, but he hasn't put up a massive season. So now, can we replace him well enough? And are we still capable of those high-scoring games if we need them? Atkinson, Steele, and then it gets pretty thin. Is there a free agent perhaps out there? A veteran that could help us out? Not likely. 67's the best we can do. Are you serious? I thought for sure there'd be like Jarvis Landry at 35 years old or something, but no. You know what has to be done? Oh man, you can't do it from the depth chart though. But Sean McMillan would actually fit. Like, could Sean McMillan just move to receiver? He doesn't have the ratings. He doesn't have the route running. We're not going that way. But we certainly need a lot now out of Atkinson and Steele. We don't have great receiver depth. I hope this ends up being enough. We beat Tennessee 17-3. Do more of our games now become low scoring without Davante Adams? Does it really change a whole lot? Henry scores against his former team. Sorry about that, Titans fans. It just had to happen. Byron Brooks finds the end zone, helping replace Davante Adams as the new third receiver. And Walter Bartell continues a breakout for a defensive line that continues to rack up sack production. And with that, everybody, we are 11-4. We can't win this division. So the next game, I don't think has a whole lot of meaning. We have clinched a spot. We're going to be the top wildcard team. We can rest starters in this game. I just have to redo the whole depth chart. Well, I guess we're going to find out our playoff opponent here first. And it's going to be the Indianapolis Colts, who are only 8-8. So we did lose our finale. But I did rest pretty much every starter in this game. We lose 21-28. We had Derek Mullins throw 2 interceptions, unfortunately. And then Rashad Penny was our main running back today, and he had 4.2 a carry. And now Derrick Henry in the backup role scored 3 times. All right. Atkinson still got some playing time. We only have 4 healthy receivers. And then on defense, no interceptions for us and 2 sacks. And now I got to fix that depth chart immediately. So this is the team that got it done to finally get us into the playoffs. But now, how long can we keep the run going? Lacey, by the way, revealed to have star development at linebacker. But it finally looks like here in Season 5, everything came together the way we needed it to. Number 6 offense in terms of yardage. Number 1 defense. So we showed we were capable of winning high-scoring games and also low-scoring games and had an above-average scoring offense. The running game, #1 in the NFL. We finally built a strength. And actually, we built 2 of them because we had the best defense in terms of passing yards allowed, a top 4 defense in rushing yards allowed, and a top 7 points allowed defense. 37 sacks, but it felt like at least every game it was like 2 or 3. We weren't getting shut out very often. I felt like this team needed more of an identity, and I think we actually got it this year. Sean Day continued his steady play. He's doing a great job. Derrick Henry, I think, was a big addition for us. 4 yards a carry, 1,100 yards. We had a really good running game. McMillan ran in 12 touchdowns this season. And then receiving, Atkinson ends up the leader. This scheme did not offer a lot of chances for receivers to have those big breakout games. And then 5 touchdowns here for McMillan in the air. So overall, 17 touchdowns for him. We're missing Devontae Adams now. But I still think this team has a chance to make a nice run. Tyson Charleston, 4 interceptions. Walter Bartell, he leads us in sacks this year for the first time. Jimmy Hochstein only missed 2 kicks all season. Only 43 punts for Jake Bailey. I like that. So, you gotta like where this team is going into the playoffs. Devontae Adams, though, I'm not sure he could even come back for the Super Bowl if he's out 5 weeks. Yeah. There might be a scenario to bring him back early, and that's the only reason you wouldn't put him on IR. And there is just no big signing to make at all. So, we've done it. We've brought the Dolphins to the playoffs. They have essentially been rebuilt. Although I had to do a lot of things to make it work. But our fun today is not yet over. We're getting into this playoff run. Now, I'm not going to be watching most or all of these games. Heavy simulating. I don't want this to drag on or anything. I don't need my Denver playbooks from a franchise I played a year and a half ago. Let's get our San Francisco playbook on there and the Mike Zimmer playbook. But we're going to see if this team can get to the Super Bowl, basically. I certainly didn't want to do this series and completely strike out on making the playoffs, so we have achieved this major goal. Welcome to the postseason, Miami Dolphins. We're on the road. An 8-win Colts team is in front of us. Is that CJ Ham? So we're going to sim this game into the second half and see who takes advantage. No score in the first quarter. I saw Sean Day did throw a pick. They score first. We score after. It is 10-7. And we're going to bring this game now into the fourth quarter. Miami has a lead. But the Colts with Jacoby Brissett are driving. They're in the red zone. Inside the 10. Goal to go. Intercepted Joe Godfrey. Wow. We get it back. Up by 4. This is Derrick Henry time. 3rd and 9. Can't get it. Colts take over. Big pass plays getting him down the field. BC Johnson. I just remember we beat this team 41-10. And they are back in the red zone. A penalty, though. Knocked away. Pick up for BC Johnson. 3rd and 2. They got it. Now, let's watch this play out. Brissett trying to give the Colts the lead. They're 11 yards out. He throws across the middle and they score. Touchdown, Indianapolis. We're going to have to come from behind. Sean Day as the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins in his first playoff game. And our first time seeing him play the deep ball. He got it. He caught that! Down at the 27! Kevon Steele! What a first play! 138 yards on the day for Steele. Now Day in some trouble. Away from one. Throws and he got him inside the 10. Sean Day gets us 20 more. Wow. That is Javonte Atkinson. We are 7 yards out now. Give it to Derrick Henry. Running to the left, he gets 4. And now trying to get that touchdown to go on top. 3:17 to play. Day to the air. He's not seeing anything and takes the sack. You gotta be smart here with the football. A field goal ties it up. Oh, we are not running. Henry out wide. Nobody's really over the top of him there. They see him. Henry! Nope, didn't work. Day saw what I saw. We have to kick. So now we play defense. Tied at 17 here in the wild card round. Brissett on target. Starting off with a first down. Uh-oh. What do you do when Jacoby Brissett enters the zone? 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Gotta get pressure. Brissett throws it away. Walter Bartell, where are you? Can you go make the play for us? 2nd and 10. Brissett's got time. Dumps it, and they get 6. Can we get the ball back? 4-man rush. First down, Indianapolis. Approaching midfield. 1:11 to go. Brissett steps up, and he's sacked. That should take him out of the zone. That's why we go and get DeForest Buckner. He's out of the zone now. Brissett sacked again! Walter Bartell! And it's suddenly 3rd down and 19. And they're going to run it. We're all over it. 25 seconds to go. Can we block this punt? What is going on here in the punt formation? It's away cleanly and easily. And that's going to be a touchback. So I think we're going to OT. Indeed we are. And Miami is getting the football first. Here we go. Trying to advance to the divisional round. Maybe get a rematch against the Bills. Actually, that would be unlikely. Oh, Derrick Henry in overtime! He's gonna go! A 75-yarder! The game is over! Henry wins it! How many times have we seen him do this before in real life? In overtime. There's no player I would fear more than Derrick Henry getting the ball. Your defense has been on the field all day long, and you gotta play extra against this guy. The Josh Jacobs special, we just saw him do it. And Derrick Henry, the trade was worth it. He runs us to the 2nd round. What a way to win it. And we do get the rematch against Buffalo after all. Let's take a look at our playoff bracket now. We still have the Chiefs and Browns in the AFC. But the Dolphins move on. 3rd game against Buffalo. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. Oh, wait. I just simmed it. I did not mean to simulate. I wanted to, oh, no. Oh, no. I did not just do that. I've been simming all day. Oh, I can't believe I just straight up simmed that game. I was going to do the same thing and sim us into the 4th quarter, but that's just so abrupt. The high of the Derrick Henry win to suddenly simming the finale. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry. I was trying... I don't know. I wanted to get into that game, and I just hit advance. because I've already done it 17 times. Bills win. Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks for Sean Day. They win 3 times against us this season. And we just couldn't generate a whole lot of offense in this game. But they did beat us 3 times. So clearly, we're not as good as Buffalo. Let's see what they had, though, to beat us. The Bills have Tremaine Edmonds, Tre'Davious White, Gabe Mills, Ed Oliver, Josh Allen's an 88, Jaleel Barber, Kareem Hunt's the running back. Not a ton at receiver here. You might not need a lot at receiver all the time. They have Artie Robbins. They don't really have that great of an offense, but they have a pretty outstanding defense. And just like our defense, it carried us a long way this year. And that, everybody, looks to be the Renovation Rebuild, Chapter 1. 5 years with the Dolphins has given us finally a taste of success, a brief one. But with Sean Day as the quarterback, perhaps Miami has their guy that can bring them to another playoff game in the future. What I think I'd like to do is come back to this in some time and do Chapter 2, where I take on the new worst team, and I would end up possibly facing this Dolphins team. But ultimately, who would the new worst team be for a potential Chapter 2? And let me know if you want to see it. Wouldn't be Cleveland, Dallas, Buffalo, none of these playoff teams. The worst team would be well, we have a tie. Wait a minute. Okay. There were a lot of ties this year. But at number 32, that's the Detroit Lions, who went 1-7 at home, gave up 399 points. There have been some worse defenses this year. But if this series were to continue, Detroit looks to be the team. Now, I should see if they have the number 1 overall pick. They do. It would be Detroit. I will not share the team, the roster, in this video. That would be for Chapter 2. But if this series were to continue, and you want to see more, we can move to Detroit and do it all over again. So, I hope you enjoyed this experiment. Ideally, next time I'd get all the videos up a little bit quicker. I want these to be nice, quick burst series. They are just kind of long videos to make, but not incredibly long. I could have done a faster job. I've had way too many things going on lately, but I can definitely do the next one much faster if you would like a Chapter 2. I definitely would. This was fun. I want to see our career stats, though, because Sean Day was a big part of this series. 65 touchdowns for him. And then, of course, Lane Bryant, he ended up playing a lot more. And this year in New Orleans looks to be his best season of the series. But I wasn't waiting around for that long. Sean McMillan never really lived up to the hype in this series, but I think when you're rebuilding and you have a rookie running back behind a bad offensive line that's growing, it's just hard to be productive. Receiving, we did have success with Javonte Atkinson. He was one of the first players we added to this team. He was a first-round pick, pick 24. He made a Pro Bowl, 2,000-yard seasons for us. He became a number 1 caliber receiver. And then Kevon Steele, we leave Miami with him as well. And Steele hasn't put up big numbers, but I think that if there wasn't Devontae Adams, he would be capable of something similar. to what we're seeing from Atkinson. And then on defense, I don't feel like I really found that superstar. I took my chances. Hairston was here before I was, but he stayed on and was just a steady above average player. Walter Bartell, he came on this year. Maybe he's a new star for this team to rely upon. And then Tyson Charleston, that was a big move to go acquire him. And that looked to be the right move. But ultimately, you'd think after 5 years that I would have probably been able to draft more high level difference makers. But really, I had to do a lot more in free agency than I expected. And I don't think I drafted poorly, but I didn't hit home runs. And I only gave myself one shot at a Super Bowl by making the playoffs only in the last season. So it was a fun first time. I think I can do better, but I have no idea what challenge could await us with the Detroit Lions. Oh my God, that means... I just realized what that means. I realize now who would be on that team. This is the only spoiler you're getting. Arsenio Jennings is still there. And all these players as well. Oh man, the reunion with Arsenio Jennings. He wasn't my draft pick, by the way. 2 catches as a rookie. You know, he's been fine in Detroit. That's amazing. So if you want to see Chapter 2, let me know down below. I hope this was a lot of fun for you, despite the way it ended. But I really enjoyed going through this whole little experiment. It's definitely a series that I want to continue doing here in this franchise on Madden 20. So with that, everybody, thank you for watching the Renovation Rebuild Chapter 1. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.